What's good, meaningful movers? Welcome back to Moving with Meaning, the podcast, where actions have meaning, words have meaning, and we open up the conversations to discover what's your next move. I'm your host, Krystal. What a season we had, huh? I had so many guests this time around, I could not fit them all in this single season. Listen, I'm not complaining at all. I have to say, when I started this, I never imagined that this would be rolling like it is. And I know I said that in season 1, but I gotta say it again because it just keeps getting better and better. I mean, I have over 70 plus people waiting for me to book them. And I have folks going to my website, emailing me directly to be a guest. I think it's time for me to get a VA, a virtual assistant here. Anyhow, this episode marks the season 2 close. As we did with the season 1 close, I'm going to share with you all the highlights and lowlights, lessons learned, and new adventures during this season. What do you say? Let's not wait a moment longer. I like to call this section here Unexpected Opportunities. I truly enjoy setting off on a journey with little to no expectations. To be honest with you, I set my sights much lower. So maybe I did have some expectations. Let's start with the theme for season 2, charisma. I hope you all got a chance to really vibe with my guests and be inspired by how each of their own journeys led to a truly prized passion of theirs. Some of them are side hustles, while others are straight up full-time dedication. I mean, I love a good story, and these were some deep conversations. Like, to the point where they either got me reflecting or they were reflecting real time in the interview. Most of all, I like how the different backgrounds and influences of the guests kind of led some of them to the same type of passion, a health journey, or perhaps some coaching, or providing some kind of service as far as in their career or their corporate arena. I had cases where it was like they were both talking about the same thing, but from different triggers, right? Different things that kind of really fueled them, but they kind of got to the same destination. I love it. So there are so many good ones in this case, all right? And it's hard for me to call out any of the faves. What about the Halloween special? Amanda Blackwood is a heroine for show, okay? If you don't know, then check Beyond the Statistics, part 1 and 2. That's what I love about these guests. They don't or haven't let their circumstances define who they are or how they treat others. They want to break that cycle. I mean, there is passion, but then there's compassion, which is just next level. Okay. Oh, well, look here. Speaking of, my boy, Kevin Palmieri, from Next Level University with his 7 days a week podcast. Okay, you know what? I ain't got there yet, but kudos to you, my boy. So how he described his moment where he was at the lowest was truly poetic. It may not seem like that is the appropriate word to describe a moment like that for someone. Waking up and having your mind playing different stations, I'm not even doing that justice. That episode is Muscles Couldn't Heal My Mind. Check it out. But we did cover a broad spectrum from corporate boardrooms to women's health to a sleep doctor. These were so good that I held the conclusion of my own 5-year career reflection till the end, right before this one. And speaking of that, these are just great segues into each other. I'm loving this. That was a truly reflective 4 episodes for me. I recommend you all to take a look at your last 5 years. I think you'd be surprised at your evolution. I honestly didn't see all those lessons, messages, and transformations until I just thought about it and asked the questions like, why did I leave? Why did I choose this place? I really got honest with myself. And I don't think I would have been that honest if I didn't write it down. Like I said, I script these solo episodes and ad-lib here and there. That's what writing is for me. It's a place where vulnerability is welcome. It's like I'm in a different dimension, a paradise of sorts. built just the way I like it. Fall all year round. The tepid temperature just right for a light jacket, a flannel, or one of those comfy sweaters. A clear sunny day with orange, purple, and red leaves just barely hanging on trees. Maybe a few floaters gliding through the air, landing softly on the tippy tops of green grass. A deep breath, and the air smells crisp with a hint of sweetness. Apples. Yes, that's it. A mug of hot apple cider with cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg in my hands as I blow and sip away. Yeah, that's my place. It's very therapeutic, if I must say. So, journal, journal, journal. Okay, how about some podcast highlights? If the above didn't just cover it, it's the guests themselves. The networking and partnerships that I've uncovered, it's just amazing. It's also discovering how much in common I have with so many others. Now, there were 2 episodes that I recorded that didn't make the cut. Number one, the first reason, the audio was so bad on their side, I just couldn't produce it enough to make it work. And frankly, I won't put anything out that does not represent their story. The second reason, when I listened back to the episode, it sounded so misogynistic that without hearing the pre-interview, the value wasn't going to be there. Like, I had the pre-interview and I still struggled with how he was presenting his point of view. Again, I didn't want to present him in a way that wasn't pleasing. Something tells me he wouldn't have cared. Maybe that's something else to mention as well. My podcast production process. Okay, this may come across very type A, but that's okay. To each their own. But I definitely have the type B personality for sure. So for me, organization is super important, as is a process. This does not reduce creativity, by the way. It actually gives me more opportunity and time for that. What I do is when a guest is interested in coming on the show, they will send me a quick cover letter or bio of what they do and what they want to share. Now, here's a quick pro tip for this. Always listen to at least one episode and pick one that relates to your message. That way, it looks less like a cold call and more like a targeted opportunity. If I find the bio interesting, I'll send a pre-interview call just for me and the guest to get to know each other and get a flow together. Now, this call is usually 30 minutes and where all the magic happens. I think for the first 5 or 10 minutes, we are just shooting the breeze. Where are you from? How's the weather? Family talk. What's bothering us on that particular day? We get a bunch of chuckles and laughs in. Then we get to business, where I discuss the flow of the podcast and then they tell me about their story. Only Cliff Notes version though. I don't go into details and we may actually get on a tangent if we get all excited. That's always fun. And then I take notes on my podcast template and then I'll end the call letting them know that I'll send a follow-up email with the notes, podcast release form, and a link for them to book the actual interview. Now, I have to tell you, there was only one guest that I did not email back. It was just that his story was not a match for the show, which is really rare. It was on some mysticism train, which I honestly tried to understand, but I just couldn't. And I didn't want to waste either of our times. But anyway, I found that this process works well. And if it ain't broke. All right, what else do I have going on? How about some new business? I just did a speaking engagement in a studio with VIP speaking. So look them up. They're really pretty cool. That was an awesome experience. I was so nervous, but I'm really proud because that is a great setup for me to really put together some solid speeches. I mean, it was good. The one I did for them is called Flawed Logic, the art of continuous improvement to reach your desired goals. Take a listen and tell me what you think. I also will be on a speaker panel in Las Vegas for the Internet 2.0 conference in March 2025. I don't know if they're going to stream that live or not. Again, check them out because I will be in Las Vegas speaking to it like a live audience this time and not necessarily a studio. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be standing up in front of a lot of people, like thousands. Okay, so this is going to be extremely cool. So you may have seen a few glimpses of the promos for that particular one if you follow me on LinkedIn. And let me go ahead and make a note of that so I can start sharing that everywhere else. Now, I finished my business self-journey book. The book details the lessons that I learned from each of the 8 years in consulting and how those same practices can be used in your personal life. I really enjoyed that. The title of this book is Embrace the Code, Cultivating Emotional Resilience in a Tough IT Culture. The release was January 21st, 2025, so get you a copy. So as we continue on that same vein, I'll also be working on creating virtual courses and masterclasses, which come from the book, as well as kind of from my other brand ideas that I have going on with some other goodies, right? If you get the course, you maybe get the free book, or you get the course, you get a free ebook. Right. So I'm getting together all of these things because I've honestly been asked to do them, and I think I can get to it. Oh, really quick, so I don't forget, I'm just about finished with the sequel to my fantasy series, and it's gangsta. Like, I'm shocking myself. I even had enough time to get my anthology, which is just a collection of short stories, for my fantasy series started. I have one short story edited and the interior designed. Now, I originally wanted to launch that as like a free gift for purchasing the first book in my fantasy series, or as a perk to joining the Moving with Meaning network. I don't know just yet, but I think a book funnel is coming. What did happen was I got back with my original copy editor and proofreader, as well as my interior designer, which gave me a flat rate to design the entire short story anthology series. So I can kind of piecemeal it to him or what, but he's going to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is write all the short stories all the way through and then kind of give it to him, and he can do it all at once. I don't want to do that to anybody, just kind of throw stuff at him and then they get to it. He's really cool about it. So either way is fine. But I like to make things a lot easier on others. Now, when he said that, though, I went and created a list of titles and quick summaries of what each one of the short stories would be. So I kind of already have things in my mind ready to go. But essentially, these short stories are prequels to the fantasy world with historical notes. From what my proofreader said, he got lost in reading it and then had to go back a second time to add his edits. Now that's encouraging. I mean, it takes me maybe 2 days to whip one of those stories out. So while the second fantasy book is being edited, I'll start cranking those out. That's the plan anyway. It's just because I've been delayed with all the growth that has been happening with me. And I mean, at a super duper rate. I mean, it's fast. Speaking of that, I've hired a PR company for public relations to kind of help get my brand out there and get me into more speaking engagements to really drive in my services. I've also added a webmaster and, coming soon, a virtual assistant. Look, I've even added ghostwriting to my services. Podcast guests have asked for this from me and creating unique quotes for their social media content. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm sure I'm missing something in there, but here's to progress and dreams coming true. Of course, with all the good does come a bit of bad. I had 2 familial losses in 2024. My godfather, which is my mom's older brother, and they were pretty close. And then an aunt on my husband's side. I have very fond memories of both, and they will be dearly missed. Rest in glory. From the business side, okay. So when I started my entrepreneur takeover, I wanted to get my logo, business name, and slogan trademark. So I hired this law firm, and they said they completed it. Well, 2024 rolls around, 1 year exactly from when the application was filed. I get a notice that it has gone into abandon stage because I didn't respond in time with some requested information. So I called those lawyers back, or that law firm back, and was like, what's up? And they gave me some between the lines kind of stuff, just smoke and mirror kind of thing. Like, oh, that was only for the application, not the registration. You need to pay for research and all these other steps. So I'm like, when were y'all going to tell me that? I'm saying I need my stuff trademarked. I didn't say I need you to file my application and then, I'll take it over from there. It was the complete process that I was paying for. Anyway, at that point, that was a done deal, and I'm not going to argue that. I just basically got with another firm and asked what their fee included. Like, I need this done all the way through to registration. So far, I am pleased because they are keeping me up to date and even explained that my slogan needed to be tied to my coaching services as specimens to qualify it. That is important because the last folks didn't even do that. Anyway, it's a lesson I learned that I am passing along to you. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. But trademarking is important. So I'm doing what I need to do to get it. It is really easy to just say F it when something like that happens because you feel played. But not this gal. I am committed to my brand and moving forward. That was a false move that had tons of meaning behind it. Another low light. Okay, I am working with a website hosting company that is supposed to be doing my social media management, content creation, book promoting, and website design. Put it like this. I'm still creating the content and managing my social media. I'm also hiring a webmaster to redesign my website with all these new things I have going on so that it really ties all of my services together under a singular brand. It's not easy to meld fantasy, nonfiction, ghostwriting, life coaching, professional speaker, workshops, etc., all in a single website. But fortunately for me, everything is tied to emotional resilience. So I just need to get that working. And, I love the creativity. So I need someone dedicated to that. I need my stuff to be popping. Now, the company is fine that I'm currently with for hosting the website, but I think that's where the buck stops with them. This isn't so bad because this is an opportunity for me to really think about what I want and have someone that works on that solely as the focus. I highly recommend hiring different companies to focus on the service that they are known for. I get companies are trying to expand, okay? But you can tell the difference when they are trying something new or they're just entering a new service, okay? And they're kind of the beginning phases of that. It's like when you feel like you have to constantly demonstrate what you want, you might as well be doing it. That's the telltale sign. All right, we're going to end on a good note. One of the biggest highlights for me this season is that I have my own TV show on a streaming network. Yeah, your girl is a TV show host. I am the first lady in the Infusion family, which is the TV channel on the Mobile Gold Network, which you can download from your Roku or Amazon Fire TV. The channel is spelled capital N, capital F, and lowercase USION. Infusion. TV that is inspiring. And we are truly a family. We are growing together, and I'm just freaking honored, okay? Look for my episodes weekly on Tuesday at 12 noon CST Central Time. Great for a quick 30-minute lunch entertainment. All in all, it has been a phenomenal season. I can't tell you how much my reputation and visibility is growing. I feel like I didn't do anything other than put myself out there. I was really nervous about the video aspect. which is why much of my content has been audio only until this season. I started putting out those short form pro tips, and now these TV episodes, which are on average 25 minutes long. And look at me now. It's not that I am camera shy. I just don't feel like I look like other people who typically look on camera. Like, I don't do all that makeup. Chapstick and some lip gloss, and I'm done. Okay, depending on the day, you may catch me with some eyeliner, but mostly not. I'll wear my glasses instead. I look presentable. I just am not doing a full face. I just decided to be me and see what would happen. Now, you can't get me from in front of that camera. Okay, we had some golden nuggets, and I think we should add some ketchup just to recap. Number 1, no expectations. Just have a passion, purpose, and message. Start there and create your own platform. Network and collaborate with others on a similar journey. Take in the opportunities as they come. You never know where that will lead. To another door, to another platform, and so on. Number 2, be you. Don't judge your fitness, as in you fitting in, for the next big thing based on what you see out there, even if it is mainstream. What's important is the message and your authenticity. It's your show. And in the words of my boy, John Kimball, your vibe will attract your tribe. That's the episode today. I hope you enjoyed the season recap and the season 2 of Moving with Meaning, the podcast. I want to say to each of you out there with a story, a message, or a purpose within you, ask yourself, why not today? Why not now? You've heard of delaying the inevitable. That's always used in reference to something negative. But if you are meant to be more and you feel it in your bones, but you constantly have all the reasons to wait, well, you're delaying your greatness, your elevation, your message, your story, your purpose. So I ask you again, right now, why wait any longer? Make sure you guys subscribe to the show, Moving with Meaning, the podcast, and tap that alert bell so you know when these episodes drop. I am on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Please share, like, repost, and follow. Tag someone. We're creating a community. Quick housekeeping before you go. Follow me on Instagram at movingwithmeaning82 and on Pinterest at Arthur KB Clark. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn. I do dabble in TikTok at Krystal B. Clark. My Etsy store has some handy dandy digital downloads. Lastly, run over to my YouTube channel and have a look or two. Links are in the episode. Alrighty, I'm Krystal on Moving with Meaning, the podcast, reminding you to take it one step at a time. All moves have meaning. Check y'all later.